Good day, everyone, and welcome to Plant Resilience and Conservation for a Changing Climate. Thank you for joining. My name is Vivian Negron-Ortiz, botanist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and chair of the Botanical Society of America Ad Hoc Committee on Climate Change. I appreciate your interest. We appreciate your interest and punctuality. So let's get started. This virtual global scale symposium is a first time event for the Botanical Society of America outside of their main annual conference. So for this event, we have more than 900 participants registered for this symposium. First, let me introduce the committee and the staff who helped making this symposium possible. As chair of this committee, I really appreciate current and past members of the team for orchestrating these events. It took a whole year to prepare, from brainstorming sessions to planning and implementation. So we also want to express our appreciation to Amelia Neely for helping with media communication, websites, and other detailed tasks. So this committee was formed back in 2023 with the purpose to develop and implement a climate change initiative for the Botanical Society of America to advance not only botanical knowledge, but to engage the plant community in research, synthesis, and communication. So as part of this initiative, our first effort was to develop this symposium. So, and for the next effort of this committee in 2025, Jeremy Wrench is leading the developing of a special issue of the American Journal of Botany, exploring themes related to climate and plants. Now, I would like to introduce the Executive Director of the Botanical Society of America, Heather Cacanindin. She will address the audience and share some key information. I will come back in a few minutes. Heather?
Oh, can you advance to the next slide?
Sure.
Great, thank you. So welcome, everyone. We are very proud to present this global event today and just thrilled with the number of registrations and the interest that has been expressed and the excitement that's been surrounding this event for the last few months. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Botanical Society of America, the BSA has been around for over 100 years. And it is the professional home for those who are interested in the botanical and plant sciences. I view it as an umbrella type of organization, from the botanists in the field to the gene jockeys. We have everybody included with the BSA. And as I said, it's a global community. We have a strong percentage of our membership that are outside of the United States. As far as what the BSA does, we publish 2 top-notch journals that are peer-reviewed, and you may be familiar with them, the American Journal of Botany and Applications in Plant Sciences. We also publish the Plant Science Bulletin, which is a society-driven journal and is distributed to all of our members and also open access. We provide over $125,000 a year in grants and awards to our community, and those are from $500 to a few research awards that are $10,000. And we produce an annual in-person conference called the Botany Conference, typically during June or July every year. So we're thrilled to be sponsoring this virtual event. We do have some regular virtual events, webinars that are professional development in nature and are typically 1 to 2 hours. So this is their first time putting together a 2-day virtual symposium of this type. Next slide. I couldn't go on without mentioning that the BSA has very reasonable membership. If you are interested and you know students who are interested in joining the society, at the end of the year, as we are right now in this time frame, we have a gift membership drive. So there's an opportunity to give a gift membership to students or colleagues in developing nations. And those are $20 for a 1-year membership. And even if you don't have someone in specific in mind that you want to give a gift membership to, you can just donate. And we often get requests from people saying, you know, that they just would love to be a member of the community, but they can't support that right now financially. And we have a small group of memberships then that we are able to provide to people. So now is a great time for gift giving. So remember that and think about that. If you go to botany.org, our website, it's clearly marked on the homepage where you can give a gift membership or become a member of the society. Next slide. Okay, now I'd like to turn to talking about today and tomorrow and what our norms and expectations are for this event. As you can tell already, since you joined, everyone's microphones are muted, and that's because we're expecting a large crowd, and we like to minimize the background noise. So for the majority of the day, your mic will be muted, and we'll be using the chat feature at the bottom of the Zoom screen, where you can enter your questions and comments. Moderators for our session today will be watching the chat and sharing those questions with the speakers. This event is recorded, so we'll be able to share it after it takes place. So it's up to you if you'd like to have your video on or off as to your personal preference, but do know that this is being recorded and will be shared afterwards. So please don't make any personal recordings, audio or visual, of the event, as the organizers will be doing so and curating it and sharing it afterwards. So as we turn to our agenda for today, we have 2 days of event, and we're going to be going through, I believe it's about 2:30 Eastern time. There will be 3 blocks of speakers throughout the day, and each of those blocks involves a featured and invited speaker and then 2 contributed talks. So after those 3 talks, we'll have a short question and answer session during which, you can type those questions into the chat box and we will forward those questions to the speaker. We'll take 2 breaks during the afternoon. Each of those breaks will be 10 minutes long. And at the conclusion of this session today and tomorrow, we'll end with a discussion session. This is the time when you will be able to unmute yourself. We'll be dispersing into breakout rooms for about 40 minutes to have discussion, and then we'll come back together as a larger group. And then, so that discussion session will happen at the end of the day and will allow you to unmute yourselves at that time. If you need more information on this event, there is a symposium website. The QR code is there if you want to take a picture of it and go directly there. I think most of you have been to the website already. That website contains the detailed schedule for the day, abstracts for all of the talks, the speaker bios, and the list of all of our speakers. And those are the norms and the expectations. So you can continue, Vivian. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. So let's talk a little bit about the symposium. So this symposium explore 2 main topics. And if you look at these topics, responses of plants and plant populations to shifts in climate. And the second topic relates to conservations and different tools. We need to bring a global perspective, and that is because our world is biological diverse, but also quite ecological complex. And because increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere have caused quick changes in climate, our natural communities, including plant populations and species, are experiencing what is various sources have called dramatic changes as well as unpredictable. So we all know that these changes are complex with diverse impacts and impacts that are different for every region. And we have already heard many different instances, like in some places, we have higher temperatures triggering mega droughts and heat waves. In some places, extreme precipitations have increased the risk of diseases. And in others, we have seen already negative impacts to coastal species as sea levels continue to rise. And a good example here in the United States is the state of Florida. So we need to also bring a global perspective because several studies have shown that about 40% of the global land plant species are considered very rare. And many of these species are at risk of extinctions as the changing climate intensifies stressors. So in thinking in terms of impacts, the impacts to these species may be clear-cut. The loss of species or their habitat or both. At other times, it could be the impacts could be quite subtle. But to find out which plant species will win, which will lose, or how they will cope with rapidly evolving environmental conditions, we need to understand how plants respond to a combination of elevated carbon dioxide, warming temperatures, extreme precipitation, and several other climate variables. Now, if we have such information, then we can help inform the best conservation effort. And to address this changing climate, we need to not only to communicate, but also to collaborate. And this global scale symposium is doing that as it brings together experts, researchers, practitioners, professionals, and the public in general to discuss and exchange knowledge. I would like to bring a quote from the speech in 1963 of Martin Luther King that he said once in his Keep on Moving speech. There is power in unity and there is power in numbers. So for us, power means that working together toward the same goal, understanding and creating synergy for these global threats that requires not only global knowledge, but also national, regional, and local knowledge. And perhaps radical changes in the way that we conduct research and approaching decision making. So for this program today, we have speakers from US, Canada, Austria, Spain, Mexico, and Brazil. So this is the schedule for today. We have 8 presentations, 3 sessions, 3 moderators, and we have 1 cancellation. And let me bring our first moderator, Lauren Bisper from the University of British Columbia, Canada.